All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are here Tuesday, February 13th, 20. Go ahead. Okay. Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, Henry County Board of Ethics meeting being held here in our conference room. We'll do a quick roll call. District 1, Olivia McCormick.
Here.
District 2, Craig Simmons.
Here.
District 3, Lawrence Smith.
Here.
District 4 is vacant. District 5, Desmond McLean Chair. Here. Tax Commissioners appointee Cynthia Cournot.
Here.
Antonio Taylor. Let us step away from us for the evening. Clerk of Superior Courts selected alternate members, Mr. Thomas Lee.
Present.
And Ms. Felicia Harrell.
Present.
Also, we have in our presence, we have our the board's attorneys, Attorney Hilliard and Attorney Rashad, along with our administrator and officer, Ms. Bannister, and also Ms. Bullard. We'll start with our first agenda on the main on our board here. So it's going to be a board's vote for approval of the meeting minutes from January 23rd and special call meeting on 1/30/24. If I can get a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, the motion has been made. Ms. Lawrence Smith, can I get a second?
A second.
All right, second by Cynthia Cournot. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. It's unanimous. Also, we're going to add an addendum to that new business. Tonight, we will be voting on our new chairman or new chairperson and also vice chairperson. Our old chairperson, Ms. Aquila Henderson, unfortunately had to step down. So now we will be replacing her. As of now, I am the interim chair, but I would make a motion if there's anyone here who would like to take on the position of chair. We can, if anyone wants to make a nomination. If not, I will make a nomination. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, would you, I think you need to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay.
Add this item, this new business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If we could, thank you, Attorney Hilliard. If we can make a motion to add this addendum of new business for the chair and vice chair. If I can get a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve it. Second.
All right. The motion was made by Ms. Smith, second by Ms. McCormick. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. So now, yes, ma'am.
Desmond for the chair.
I second that nomination.
Okay. All right, the motion was made to keep myself as chair by Ms. McCormick, second by Ms. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Lord. Now, last year, and y'all let me open with it. So if I can get a motion on, or if I can get a nomination for vice chair from the floor, if anyone wants to brave out.
So you want us to nominate someone?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Are you open to being the vice chair?
Mrs. Smith, are you open?
Craig Simmons.
Was you nominated me?
Mrs. Simmons, you accept it? Okay.
You would vote.
All right, so there's been a nomination for Mr. Craig Simmons from District 2 to be elected as vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Our new vice chair is Mr. Craig Simmons. I was about to put y'all two new ones to work. All right, so we have that. So of course, we have myself as chair, Mr. Craig Simmons as vice chair. Is there anything else I need to do from that point, ladies?
Well,
It's for us with that motion.
no, but there was no, a motion needs to be made to nominate Mr. Craig Simmons. And then a second before the vote.
Okay. All right, so could I get a motion to nominate Mr. Craig Simmons as our vice chair?
I make a motion that we nominate Craig Simmons as our vice chair.
Motion made by Ms. McCormick. Can I get a second?
I second that.
Second by Ms. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mr. Vice Chair. I'll be taking vacation next week.
That's good.
All right. Also, we have another, need to have another motion, and I'm not sure what I need to make a motion to add this IT information. Okay. All right, so this was just brought to our attention this evening. So we are currently looking for IT to run our meetings. Unfortunately, the Henry County is not going to provide us with an IT person. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to hire our own independent contractor to come in. Ms. Bullitt has provided some information that she will be sending out in an email. Of course, regularly we would have 2, maybe 3 individuals that would actually petition for this contract. However, we just have one. We'll let you all, once you get the email, just ask that you all look over the email, go through it, see if it's something as far as rates and everything. And of course, if Ms. Bannister will want us to get back with her just to approve it, we can do that on our next meeting to approve this. We can pass this around if y'all want to just kind of scroll through it right now. And we're gonna keep this meet moving, okay?
I make a motion for us to review this information, and revisit it next.
Thank you, Ms.
meeting.
Smith. All right, the motion has been made by Ms. Smith. Can I get a second for that?
Second.
All right, second by Ms. Cornell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. I will move to our next item on the agenda, which is the general updates by ethics officer. One, the 2024 meeting dates.
Good afternoon, board. I have presented you all with a list of the proposed 2024 Board of Ethics meeting dates. We've already had our January and February meetings, but these will be the dates for the rest of the year. They are our traditional every second Tuesday at 6 p.m. If the board will review it and determine whether or not to keep them as is, or whether the board would like to change any of the dates for whatever reason, so that we can get this published to the public.
All right, hopefully everybody's had a chance to review these dates. If I can get a motion on the floor to approve these dates for this year.
I make a motion to approve.
All right, motion made by Ms. Smith. Can I get a second?
Sorry.
All right, second by Vice Chair Simmons. All in favor? All right, any opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
In addition to the dates themselves, there was a question in regards to whether we were gonna be virtual or in person. Towards the latter of the year, we did purchase Zoom. We've been using that for our virtual platform for the public. The board has discussed whether or not to proceed with virtual by way of these dates or in person. And I think the board will probably need to decide going forward whether you're just going to continue in person or if you want to switch to virtual or. Up to you.
Okay, I think as the year progresses, I know even for those of us that have young kids, once we start getting to that June slot all the way up until Christmas, if we can do it on a at-need basis as far as virtual or in person. Okay.
So what we can do is, as we get ready to publish the agendas for the public, we can make note whether or not that meeting will be solely public, not public, so solely in person or solely virtual. So the public will know on our agenda when it's published.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion for that?
I have a question. Is hybrid available? Like if we're meeting, but for whatever reason, maybe travel, could a person attend, like one of the board members attend virtually? Or do we at that point say, like, have an alternate instead?
Do we have that capability for them?
We have the capabilities. If you're looking for my suggestion based on how things have ran in the past, my suggestion will probably be to have the alternates because it can get sometimes a little hard for either the person on Zoom to hear us if we're all in person, if we're not all on Zoom, or vice versa. And I think that's kind of the purpose of our alternates, is for them to be able to fill in like that.
Absolutely.
But only if there's not a quorum.
Correct.
Understand.
Could we meet quorum via Zoom also?
Yes.
That just give us a little flexibility, you know, like say the summertime and everything get busy for experience and stuff, so, okay. The next item on the agenda is case update by ethics officer on 2023 EB10 Tina Correa versus Kalata Farrell.
Thank you, Chair. As it relates to that case, before we get into that the case, just another general update. We did not talk about the proposed date, but the ethics officer annual report was due today. I have provided each of you all a copy of it, just to hit the highlights of it. We did very well last year in our training. Statistically, we trained about 72.2% of all county employees, which is phenomenal. The county employees that were not trained, if you look at the compliance chart that was provided, 15% of those were approved to be excluded at that time, just because we were waiting on our virtual platform, which is now up and running. Those include fire and a lot of the parks and rec. And then we have 11.5 that are non-compliant. A non-compliance letter went out to the county manager last month, notifying her of every single employee in the county that was not compliant with their training. Not only employees, official and board members as well. So that was sent out last month to the county manager. In addition to that, we got 72.7 cases that are closed, that we closed in 2023, 27 that are pending closure. Office engagement, we had 45% of people contact us by way of our website, 36 by way of our ethics out hotline, and then 18% actually called me in to get ethical advice. I will leave that with you all, just so the board will know. I did provide a copy to every single board of commissioner, as well as the county manager. They got a hand-delivered copy of that as well.
Was there a response back on the individuals that were not compliant after you sent the letter?
There's no response, not from the county manager.
Okay.
The next order of a protocol per se is to actually send all of the department heads their emails or correspondences saying, hey, these are the people, as well as the individuals individually. As the board knows, there's nothing right now we can do to enforce compliance with the training, but we are looking to have that amended where they can get fined if they don't comply. Any questions?
How do you suggest you find via email?
We haven't made a suggestion at all yet. Any questions on the annual report? Okay. That takes us into, looks like the cases got switched. So I will go to this one. An update on Tina Correa versus Kalata Harold. This is 2023 EB10. If the board recalls, this actually came before you first in December of 2023. We've already established that we do have personal jurisdiction, as that is a Henry County Commissioner. We do have subject matter jurisdiction as well. Just to refresh the board, we did receive the ethics complaint on October the 23rd. On October 24th, there was a state ethics complaint that was also filed by the same complainant in regards to the same allegations as we received. We asked the complainant for an amended ethics complaint because per our rules, there has to be a clear and concise statement of a alleged violation, and we didn't have that. We pretty much had I don't know if it's hodgepodge. We had a complaint. Hodgepodge. We had a complaint with a lot of factual things that was very hard to decipher what was the alleged violation. So the complainant did amend her complaint November the 11th, 2023. We came for a probable cause hearing on December the 12th. I presented that to the board, and even with the amended complaint, the board was still, as well as the ethics officer, honestly, was still confused as to the facts that she was alleging to be a violation. So the board indicated for me to reach out to her, see if we can get a little more clarity, advise her that, you know, the board was extending a little bit of grace, and that would be the only extension that would be granted. I did meet with her on December 21st. We had an in-person meeting. We had a second in-person meeting because on December 21st, when she came, she actually brought more evidence for me to review. So when we had our January meeting, I didn't have a report for the board because I had more evidence to review. So after reviewing that evidence, I asked for a subsequent meeting. I met with her again on January 31st, 2024. And as a result, you will see the updates that we have. So the allegations begin with a failure to show impartiality in performing official duties. And what I asked the complainant to do was sit down with me and let's talk about each fact that you say go with the allegations. I also emailed her the facts to confirm I was not missing anything because I did not want it to be my words and not hers of what she felt like were the allegations. And she did respond to that email. So for this particular violation, she believes that Chairwoman Harrell cannot be impartial knowing the history of William Talmadge, Jones Development, and D. Clemens. She said that Chairwoman did not vote against changing the future land use map for District 4, which only benefited Talmadge and Jones. Those were the facts that she provided in support of impartiality in performing official duties. The next one was gifts from outside sources. That was the alleged violation. The factual basis was was Mr. Talmadge provides campaign and financial support to the Chairwoman Harrell, and the 2023 State of the County event was paid for by Mr. Talmadge as well. The next allegation was a misuse of position. The factual basis for that was Chairwoman Harrell misused her position to fire former County Attorney Patrick Jogsetter and hire Nancy Rowan from Mr. Talmadge's firm without vetting, posting, or any discussion with the Board of Commissioners. Chairwoman Harrell failed to adequately complete CCDRs. Chairwoman Harrell has a bodyguard and private driver for her 3 years at the county's expense. The next allegation was conflict with official duties. Factual basis is that she hired or appointed William Talmadge to the ARC, which is a regional commission that helps decide how to change the land use map. That Chairwoman Harrell misused her position again by the firing of the former county attorney to the hiring of the now former county attorney Nancy Rowan, and that she voted to make changes to the T-Splosh on October 17th. The last violation was inappropriate, or next to last was the inappropriate conduct of a member of the Board of Commissioners. The factual allegation to that is the same, that she fired the former county attorney to hire Nancy without vetting, posting, or discussing with the Board of Commissioners, that she had the bodyguard, and that she uses undue pressure to influence colleagues to vote against the future land use. And the last allegation was failure to disclose, or the disclosure of interest, and that's her failure to adequately complete the CCDRs. So those are all of the alleged violations, as well as what she says are the facts to support those violations. Okay. So what did I review? I reviewed all, I spelled evidence wrong, please forgive that typo, all 848 pages of the evidence that was provided. I reviewed a response by Chair Harrell. I reviewed the State Ethics Commission's rules, regulations. I met with the complainant twice. I reviewed several board meetings. I think it was about 5 videos of board meetings that I reviewed. To supplement what we had found, I don't know why it looks like that. I asked her to give me, was there any other information that she needed the board to know? And she actually sent me this just this morning. So I couldn't summarize it, but I thought it was important for you all to see it. She said she had filed a bar complaint against William Talmadge for listing his occupation as an attorney of the state ethics lobbyist. She's filed open records as well in regards to the ARC and the financial disclosures. She said that Chair Harrell is operating without a business license. All of that is new allegations. That was not in her original complaint. She evaded paying her income taxes. She's running her accounting with no regards to the citizens. She's filed open records with for the contract of Nancy Rowan, and that it's kind of been grueling to uncover the financial trails. I say all that to say the board gave the complainant, she's not anonymous, but the complainant, an opportunity to come with more facts to specifically as it relates to the allegations. But ultimately, my recommendation still remains a dismiss for lack of probable cause. Going through them kind of individually as it relates to the first allegation, she says that it is a failure to show impartiality in performing official duties. When it comes to her knowledge of William Talmadge and that development, as we talked about before, no commissioner acts unilaterally. They have to have a majority vote in order to do certain things. And this is no different. So when it comes to the land use map, there were several changes a change made after all of the commissioners voted unanimously to change it. And because of that, there's no impartiality because there's nothing she was doing acting alone. The commissioners chose to change the map. The gifts from outside sources, I asked her, did she have any proof of what she indicated? I did review Chairwoman Harrell's disclosures myself, and I actually saw his name listed as a donor. So she indicated that he was not listed or was not being disclosed, but I saw him listed. In addition to that, as I reported to the board, there is currently an open investigation with the Ethics Commission. I spoke with them. They did not foresee a result of their investigation until probably March. And so my recommendation in regards to that is to let them do their investigation. They know the requirements of disclosure, what should be disclosed. If it was disclosed, they monitor it. And then if the complainant decides, if there's a violation, she decides she wants to file a new complaint based on their finding that there was disclosures not done properly, then she can do that. But at this point, I would recommend that the board defer to their investigation as it's ongoing and active. The misuse of position, again, I watched all the videos. Attorney Rowan, at the time that she was hired, it was a unanimous decision amongst all board members. She was voted in. The CCDRs, I would tell the board or request the board to defer to the ethics violation or the ethics investigation. The board has already heard this allegation in regards to the private driver and the bodyguard. The board already has made a finding and an opinion that there was no undue influence or no special treatment in that regard. We investigated that and already made a decision on it. All of the other violations as well, if the board has any questions about them, let me know. But the facts repeat themselves, just the violation changes. So the conflict with official duties, the same thing with William Talmadge. She did supplement and say that she filed a bar complaint for the unauthorized practice of law since he's not an attorney, but that would be not in this board's jurisdiction in regards to anything with him. The same facts will be applicable for inappropriate conduct of a board of commissioner. I asked for any evidence that there was undue pressure by Chair Harrell to influence the colleagues. I will say that when we sat down and met, she showed me some text messages between her and Chair Harrell, but there was nothing that would be considered any undue influence of her colleagues. And the last one, the failure to disclose, I also did not receive anything proving that she failed to disclose certain disclosures according to the campaign laws. But again, there is a active investigation. If something came out later, the complainant would be more than happy to file another ethics complaint, because probable cause does not prevent them from filing another one complaint if something is later discovered. Are there any questions?
Why does she need security?
So in the other case, this commissioner has if I recall correctly, a permanent restraining order against a citizen who has threatened to kill her. When I met with the solicitor at the time who provided the security, the policy is whenever there has been a death threat on any public official, they get security. All of the commissioners get them, the judges get them, and that's why she has it.
So the information that was submitted this morning is, so I'm just curious as, like, you don't have to prove that.
Okay.
Disparaging comments with no proof. How is that handled by the board? When we get a complaint with that, but there's no proof to corroborate the things they're listing, but they're putting out a bunch of personal information that could possibly be disparaging, but there's no real complaint attached to their filing.
So the complainant or the person who it is alleged against, they have civil remedies, but as far as the board, the individual providing it, a lot of times they think their proof is proof until it's reviewed by the board, and the board makes a determination whether or not it's sufficient proof to rise to the level of probable cause. But there are civil remedies for the alleged person that they could go and pursue if they so choose. All of the complaints have to be done under the penalty of perjury. So they're attesting to at least say, I believe enough of what I'm saying and I can provide it. For this particular case, it was a search for a needle in a haystack. And we just couldn't find the needle. Or at least I couldn't find the needle.
Should we table this until the state comes up with their findings?
That's an option. At the time in which this was first brought before the board in December, the board said that you all did not want to table it because that was 3 months out. But we are in February at this point. They're not bound to render a decision in March, but when I spoke to their commission, that was their estimation. They also indicated they had lots of stuff to go through. And they had to wait for Chair Harrell to file her answer and things of that nature. So the board can table this until they make a decision. If you want to do just that issue, or you can table the whole thing, or you can find no probable cause at this point, and then she can refile if there is a decision made in regards to the CCDRs.
I think the only problem I have with this is the second time that this has come across,
Third.
a third time.
Third.
This is
And it was in
No,
October.
yeah.
So we've given her ample enough time to provide proof with her allegations. But then for her to come back this morning again, does she have any records of her not paying her income taxes?
I was not provided that this morning. That was my first time reading that.
Does she have any records of her as far as businesses?
I was not provided that.
Okay,
I make a motion to dismiss this one.
okay, that motion now. The motion made to dismiss the case of 2023 EB 10 Korea versus Carlotta Rail. Motion has been made by Smith to dismiss this based off of lack of probable cause. Second by Vice Chair Simmons. All in favor? Any opposed?
Oh, Cynthia's got the, yeah, the quarter without you.
All right, any opposed? All right. The ayes have it. All right, moving on to The presentation by ethics officer of probable cause on case 2024 EV1 Tina Korea versus Kevin J. Lewis.
Thank you, Chair. In regards to this matter, looking at jurisdictional, we do have personal jurisdiction. This is another Henry County Commissioner. In regards to subject matter, we have that as well. The allegations is that Mr. Lewis failed to show impartiality in performing his official duties, The factual basis behind that is on October 17, 2023, Commissioner Lewis voted no to the changes of the future land use map, but later voted yes at the October 30th meeting, which was a special call meeting without notice to the public. She also alleged that there was a conflict with official duties. The same factual basis went to that allegation, but she also added on that the changing of the future land use map will only benefit Talmadge and Jones. The last one is the inappropriate conduct by a member of the Board of Commissioners. It was the same allegations, the factual basis, in regards to the votes and who it benefits.
He did that all by himself.
The information review, when I met with her on that second time, I not only discussed the Harold case, but I also discussed this case with her in person because that complaint also was a little confusing. A lot of things that were submitted for Harold case was kind of copied and put for this case. So we went through what factual allegations. So I had a meeting with her. She was really, really distraught that there was a meeting that took place with no public hearing. So I reviewed Georgia's rules and regulations as it relates to land usage and the changing of maps. And it does say there has to be essentially 2 meetings before a map is changed. One has to be for the purpose of educating the citizens of why it's being changed. And the second one has to be a draft of the plan in itself. So I watched all of the commissioner meetings, March 21st, August 14th, October 3rd, 17th, and ultimately the 30th, because all of those dealt with the land use map in some type of form or fashion. On the March 31st meeting, that was a public hearing. It was advertised in the minutes as a public, or the agenda as a public hearing. 8 citizens participated and gave commentary, and the meeting was held prior to the development of the plan, which was one of the requirements. On the August 14th, that was also advertised as a public hearing, and they actually had 1 citizen to participate, who was the complainant. So remember, the rules and regulations require only those 2 meetings. Despite the fact that there was a draft of the plan at that meeting. Even though they had 2 public meetings, they mistakenly advertised for a 3rd one, which was October the 13th. And because they put it in the agenda, they went ahead and honored it and had a 3rd public meeting, which they did not have to do. At that meeting, 5 citizens gave comments, and then they gave notice at that meeting that there would be a meeting on October the 30th to make a decision. One of the complainant's allegations was that there was no public meeting because somewhere between October the 17th and the 30th, the land map got tweaked a little bit, and she wanted another public meeting before they made a decision. I could not find where that was required in the rules. It appeared as if they have only those 2 meetings, then they are good. A resolution was passed on October the 30th. In that resolution, you will see, I could not find evidence of this just probably because it's not recorded. But in addition to the public hearings that were had on March 21st, August 14th, and October 17th, they also had workshops on April 17th, May 23rd, and July 11th. So there was a lot of public input in regards to the changes of this map. Based on the allegations made, my recommendation, again, is to dismiss for lack of probable cause. The factual basis is that Commissioner Lewis, voted no and changed his vote, he has the right to do that. If there's an issue with his, as a representative in his district, then his residents would have to take that up with him. And then the changing of the future land use was agreed upon unanimously by all board members at the October 30th meeting. And that October 30th meeting was advertised as a non-public hearing. The complainant provided proof of that, but at that point, it was not required for them to have a public meeting because they had already had 3. And the rules only required 2.
Thank you, Attorney Bowley. Is there any discussion on this? All right, if I can get a motion to dismiss this based off the lack of probable cause. Get a motion on the floor. All right, motion made by Ms. Smith. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, second by Vice Chair Simmons. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Chair, that concludes my presentation as it relates to, item E. Thank you.
All right, Attorney Bowley, there's no reason for us to go into a executive session if there's optional for us. Okay. Since that seems to be everything on our agenda tonight, if I can get a motion to adjourn the meeting for this evening.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion made by Vice Chair Simmons, second by Ms. McCormick. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.